I do not do M anymore. I stopped last summer, but it just like was a gradual decline of M, and then I realized this is fucking stupid. I don't need this anymore, and I like the music so much that I don't require some sort of thing to enhance it. You can fucking do you if you want to do that, but I like the sober life, and I like that I got that badge. What is good, ladies and gentlemen? Today is June 10th, 2019. It is Ever After, and I decided to do this on a Monday instead because Ever After is just hectic as it is, and trying to get reflections done in the morning of Ever After is it's not the easiest thing. So I decided to throw it in here instead. I'm dead as fuck right now. I think I'm on the verge of I'm seeing some signs of low vibrations. I just feel super fucking dead. I'm on 3.5 hours sleep last night because I went to an after party at at a motel. Anyways, I'm not gonna get into all this. It was funny as fuck though, because it became a little rave in the middle of the, what do you call it? The middle ground area. Anyways, my voice is also fucked because I've been screaming all weekend, but it was a fucking plus. Loved this weekend. Okay, let's what am I talking about? Right, reflections. Reflections is a weekly episode where I get on camera, I talk about what worked, what didn't, wins, lessons, growth, etc., challenges, all that good shit, and I forgot to say who I am. I'm Josh Moxey, and I'm an aspiring entrepreneur, and I'm documenting my journey. So through reflections, this is a weekly check-in, a weekly capture, if you will, to see where I'm at in a given point in my history. And I'm gonna, in the process, document things, but also document part of my life, but at the same time, hopefully try to bring the end listener or watcher some value. So without further ado, let us get into today's episode. And this might be the worst episode to date, but because I'm so off right now, and I'm it's just, man, sleep is always the answer. But yeah, anyways, let's get into it. What's been on my mind? Love languages. This has been very interesting recently. I've always had a fascination with love languages, but I want to know everyone's love language so I can understand them better and then be able to work with that to make them feel loved more. It's one of the most important things in everyday life. And for me, I'm just paying attention to my love languages, learning a lot about what they are, observing if I'm incorrect or correct, and also observing others and seeing how I can do my part in making them feel loved if they earn it, so to speak. That really could be a limiting belief. Anyways, love languages. 1000% Ever After, leading up to it, just too fucking excited. And of course, while I'm there, that's obviously on my mind as well. It runs the whole fucking weekend. So yeah. This idea of what do people do when they're done a rave? For me, I want to be able to know that I have something better outside of the rave, and that the rave is cool, but is not as good as my purpose, my mission, my goals, etc. And I just question how many people actually feel the same way, and it actually breaks my fucking heart to hear or see that people don't have something outside of a rave that they value more, because these people need purposes. There are tons of ravers that do have purposes, and I'm so happy that they do. But there's also a shit ton that also don't have a purpose, and it really fucking sucks. So it's just all this living for one weekend, but what happens when you're done with that weekend? What were my favorite wins? 4 days sober of Ever After. I wanted this badge so fucking bad. I wanted to do 3 days, of course, but and then the fact that they added the after party, I'm yes, I can do fucking 4 days of no alcohol and no drugs. I used to have some alcohol before raves. I also used to partake in MDMA, low doses. I don't know why the fuck I'm saying this on camera. Who fucking cares? I guess I'll just say it right here. I do not do M anymore. I stopped last summer, but it just was a gradual decline of M, and then I realized this is fucking stupid. I don't need this anymore, and I like the music so much that I don't require some sort of thing to enhance it. You can fucking do you if you want to do that, but I like the sober life, and I like that I got that badge. It's not that fucking hard. If you really love the music, you can go easily for 4 days if you have caffeine, water. You don't even need caffeine. Water and sleep and enjoyable music, and obviously people you love as well. You're fucking golden. Period, end of story. But I'm so fucking glad I finally did it, And it was extra cool that we could have the after party as well, because I wanted that badge so fucking bad, and I fucking did it. Feels great. I completed my cut. That lasted 40 days, 39, something like that, and I've been pigging the fuck out since then, but I did lose 10 pounds with aggressive fat loss system by Greg O'Gallagher / Kino Body, whatever you want to call it. And thank God for that program, man. It actually worked fucking well. That, and I also have a good metabolism, so that absolutely helped as well. But it feels cool to know I can also cut weight in addition to adding weight and just having more control over my body, and my veins are popping more. Not as well as I wanted to, but like you can see, like looking at some videos of ever after, I can see like veins popping in my neck and like my arms, there's veins popping out. I'm like, oh my God, this is why I did this. And just such a powerful why. Veins. But anyways, it worked really well channeling that why, and I'm glad that I'm able to now eat bulking type of shit, because I was at half calories. Holy fuck, it was hard, but I'm glad I persevered with it all. Getting to know myself for 5 minutes every single day. Dan DePony, I think I talked about it in last week's episode. He is a spiritual gangster, is how I would call him, or how I would refer to him. I love him so much, and he gave a very simple exercise for people who are unaware of their purpose. It's very simple. Sit down, lay down, whatever. Do not do a single thing. Don't make coffee. Don't drive. Don't bike. Do not walk the dog. Don't do a fucking thing. And just sit there and get to know yourself. It is literally as simple as you just talking to yourself like you're talking to another person. Hey, how are you, Josh? How's your day going? What do you think about the fucking weather? Like, what do you think? Like, you can go ultra light talk, and then as time goes on, you get more comfortable with yourself, and then you'll be able to reveal more truths to yourself because you're not scared of knowing exactly what is. Or at least that's my understanding, and my quick idea around why I think it works. But anyways, it's really fucking cool. I just fucking sit there for 5 minutes and I just talk to myself in a back and forth type of thing and just understand myself a little bit more every single day, just for 5 minutes. So fucking cool. What worked? Allowing myself to use my phone as a utility when it's important. So I have this no social, no phone rule, no texting, no calling type of thing. Although I kind of go gray with the no calling. But if there is something that requires a phone call or a text that is related to time-sensitive plans, that things are urgent, I think it actually is helpful to kind of gray area break the rule. And here was my distinction I came up with today. Forget that for a second, because I had to create plans today. So what I did is I called, and if I didn't get an answer, I went into messages and I tried to just ignore mentally with my eyes everything that wasn't everything that wasn't related to the plan that I was trying to create right now. So just only contacting people that were involved. Excuse me. And did that, and it's like it didn't necessarily feel like cheating because I wasn't going on social media. I was just connecting with the people that were required for that plan and to make that ultimately happen. And I did wait like half an hour or something like that till I used my phone, but yeah, that was helpful, I think. Thinking of my vision and allowing myself to be grateful and proud of my achievements that I've accomplished so far, even if they're not up to the certain par that I would like it to be long term. This occurred during Illenium. It was the final set. Illenium is a very like much more vibey type of music, and it like I cried multiple times, which I was like, oh God, why am I crying right now? But I ended up tearing up at this one part, and it was because it fucking rolled down my face. I'm like, oh fuck, why is this happening right now? But because I really don't like crying in public. But anyway, the tear rolled down my eyes, and what I was thinking about in that moment was I just allowed myself to be grateful for the person I'm becoming, how good of a human being I am, how much of a legacy, I'm fucking getting emotional thinking about it right now, how much of a legacy I'm going to leave on this planet, and the self-awareness, the skills I've developed, the habits I've developed these two things that will guide me and be the helpers, if you will, to my success, quote unquote, long term. And just allowing myself to be proud of what I've achieved so far, and then being also excited going forward and just being grateful for it in advance. It was fucking beautiful. what a fucking set, man. Holding eye contact more strongly. I have this tendency to sometimes, even kind of like I just did that, I kind of like look away sometimes if it's too tense. And I'm doing a better job now though of it, which is just staring people in the eye and just continuing to do so. I'm not to be creepy, like not to a point where it's weird and like creepy, but just like long enough that I feel like that was good enough. I'm gonna look away now because I want to, type of thing. Versus this is intense, I'm gonna look away because I'm trying to avoid tension. But just like locking eyes with people is just like a very nice way of building rapport and developing a connection. And it's just fucking nice. It feels fucking good. Taking a ton of pictures and videos. I try to get at least get one per set, maybe 2 videos, and then like having photos here and there and making sure I didn't miss any photos that I wanted to get. Fuck, I just realized I think Brian and I did not have one of each, just like us together. But okay, so that might be like the one that I wish okay, there was actually others, but still, we did a pretty good job of getting all the photos. And then today we just did a massive airdrop session. It actually worked fucking cool as shit because we were all in one place. We just like sent each other a bunch of good photos, as well as I feel like I basically just sent in comedy stuff, but like just like funny shit that happened throughout the festival. Like there was glitter on my nipple. There was like I just fucking sent photos like that, and like just random shit like that. But anyways, it was good though. I'm glad. That's an interesting hack to use. Like just airdrop all at once, and make sure you get those photos and the videos you're looking for. Try to get at least, for me at least, I like to get at least 1 or 2 videos per act, per set, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And it makes for good memories. And ideally, you can get other people to send their memories as well, and then create a like a Google Photos archive thing where, yeah, like that shit. I love that so much. It's great. Catching up with old friends. It feels incredible. Too many to fucking list. This week was an entire social thing. Like even Monday and Tuesday before Ever After, it was like hangouts with Laura on the Monday, and then Tuesday was coffee with Zach. So those are like those are hangouts in addition to the crazy amount of social activity that was going on from Thursday to Monday. And by the way, did I say this is Monday? Because it is Monday today. But anyways, this is really good to catch up with people. But in addition, it also I'm just shown how much it gives me accountability and motivation when I'm around other people. And when I'm in my room, it can be easy sometimes to just lose track of that. But when I'm with people and like getting intermittent doses, if you will, of social activities, I'm much more accountable. I'm much more driven to make shit happen, because maybe it's because of my word. I want to make sure my word is bond. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but something is there for sure. What didn't work, and how can I improve it? Staying too surface on conversations. I did not do a good job of being deep or just like going for rapport this week. It was much more surface shit, and it actually comes from an insecurity on my lack of results in business and in my work so far, that I actually don't like talking about. Yeah, that is absolutely the case. It's funny that I just like share it on here so casually, but that's what's going on with me right now. If I am trying to avoid conversation, that is probably why. I just don't want to like talk about it for whatever reason. And it holds my relationships back. I want to be able to discuss any area. I want to have like a free flow, no boxes type of conversation. And I've got to get past my own self and be able to do that. And also enjoy, like, it is tough at a rave to have a deep conversation because the music's so fucking loud. Like, yeah. But anyways, I wish I would have gone deeper this week and developed more relationships rather than staying so surface with too many people. For example, by the way, Karina Paris, one of my best friends, we text a fucking ton. She lives in Montreal. And I was so excited to see her, and it was fucking awesome to see her all weekend. But like, I did not have a good job, or I did not do a good job of having meaningful conversations with her. I felt I kept it way too fucking light, and I wanted to take the time to even bond further with her, even though we've bonded so much already. But I wanted to like have better conversations with her, and it is tough because it's in the crowd and we weren't staying in the same place, and it was like, it's tough. But at the same time, I just have to create space for that and do a better job of that. And yeah, it's not that fucking complicated. Just gotta do it. not taking any breaks at Ever After. So, like, I appreciate the fact that I go super fucking hard, but you should have seen my ankles last night. I was limping. Like, it was fucked. I could barely fucking walk to the washroom without, like, yeah, it was just deadly. Anyways, but I think I did like 15 shoulder rides or something stupid. It was just a lot of shoulder rides this weekend, and I barely sat down at all. And yeah, it was just ridiculous. And then I could feel my ankles just my ankles were just slowly dying last night. And then by the end of the after party, I was literally limping away, and then it got worse and worse as time goes on. And then, but thankfully, that sleep plus I think it was a Source Energy medicine session plus inflammation transformation, which is a bottle of water, a label, if you will, of Source Energy medicine. That really fucking helped, and it's on its way to healing now. Thankfully, I'm not limping anymore, and grateful as fuck for that. Smiles were not always genuine. Like, I didn't always feel super fucking happy when I was smiling. I was kind of just doing it as a polite thing. I really don't like that. Like, yeah, I'm trying to just be a good human being if I didn't feel like smiling in that moment, but it's not very authentic. Like, it just doesn't feel great. Yeah, because there were times I was just like, I just didn't feel like smiling. I wasn't very happy in that moment, and that happens sometimes. And that would be a good time to not smile, but at the same time, I'm just like so fucking conditioned to smile. And yeah, that I don't even know what didn't work about this. Yeah, what didn't work is the fact that it's basically just being fake, and I don't fucking like that. So smile when you want to, don't smile when you don't want to. Be real. It's better than being nice. Fuck nice. Be kind instead, which is real niceness. Dream board and reasons were basically not looked at all. I think like Monday, Tuesday maybe. But other than that, I just forgot, and like I didn't make it a priority, and I had like lack of that's actually not necessarily true. I did have urgency to do shit, but it was more from the angle of the accountability to other people and like clarity around what I don't want and what I do want, and just like I was motivated to do the work, but if I don't go in the direction of my vision, I can go in the wrong area. So I have to be constantly reverse engineering, keeping it top of mind, thinking about it, manifesting it day by day, step by step, and then but yeah, I've got to keep that fucking top of mind, and I wasn't. So get that shit in my schedule again. Procrastination, like this is manifested in a ton of different ways. One of the examples I'm thinking about right now is like procrastination on. So I'll give you actually two examples. Uno, the triple stack. I definitely could have done a triple stack, or at least if I couldn't, it would have been close. And when I say triple stack, I'm talking about two people on my shoulders and like a picture or whatever, or I could do that for a song. I'm not sure what I'd be able to do, but by the way, I legit feel like I still have a fucking wristband on my wrist, but it's like a ghost wristband. It's so real. Anyways, so I should have done that, but we waited way too fucking long. We waited till Sunday, and I was like buying into the excuses of the other people that were involved, and then I just ended up not doing it, and that's on me. And I should have done it earlier in the weekend, and yeah. But at least I will be able to do it at Eel Sonic, and I've got to fucking do it because I don't want to go to another event without not trying to do it because it's important. Secondly, conversations I wanted to have with other people that I kept putting off, and then I never got to have them. Like, there's no fun in that. Just fucking do it now. Do it as fast as possible. And don't, like, just create the fucking space. Do things in their proper time. Do not procrastinate. I don't really know what the fuck else to say. It's pretty fucking simple. What were my biggest lessons? Simple trick. I sometimes ask, what is my next moves? And I realized it's actually better to ask, what is my next move? Like without an S. Singular, not plural. Because we can only do one thing at a time, realistically. So when I'm asking these questions, I think it's much better if instead of getting like a list of like multiple things, I just get my next move. I just focus on that. And it's giving me much clearer results, or much clearer answers, if you will, that I can ultimately use to turn into results. So be specific. Be more specific. I did an experiment with my buddy Zach. I asked him a question, which I thought was pretty cool, which is, what is firing you up right now? Like what gets you excited? What is motivating you right now? It actually, funny enough, started up like what are your whys? Like what gets you out of bed in the morning? But then I came up with that in I think in real time, or something like that. Anyways, I think it worked well because it got him. He's like, okay, what does fire me up right now? And he gave me a really fucking good answer. So if you're looking to get more deep and understand people a little bit more and understand why they're doing what they're doing, it can be as simple as just like, hey, like what's firing you up right now? This is a good conversation, just a quick add-in, and you'll create some fucking interesting conversation from it. To succeed, you need both accountability and non-judgment. Got this from Gary Vaynerchuk. Thought it was a beautiful way of describing something very important, which is if you have accountability, but you're judging yourself, you're not going to go anywhere because you'll stop yourself. Whereas if you have no accountability, but no judgment, you end up like a fucking stoner who does nothing. Okay? But when you have both, you find someone that loves themselves and accepts themselves and their weaknesses, their flaws, their errors, and equally is accountable to doing the things they need to do in their proper time, making shit happen. I thought that was an amazing thing because either or, you need to have both in order to succeed. That's a very simple way of looking at it. And this is also not about just with yourself. This is with other people too. My favorite relationships, by far, are the ones that hold me accountable, but also do not judge me. It is this like beautiful fucking combination, these two when put together. People motivate the living fuck out of me to act. Like, it was just insane. It's always just, it's a great, like this is nothing really new, but it's just, it feels much more intense, this experience, this lesson this week, because as I was with so many people throughout the week, I was just noticing how much more inclined I was to act and ultimately try to stay accountable. Like, it's my word. I care about my word. I do not want to go back on my word. I want to make promises and fucking deliver on them. It feels fucking awful for me if I don't do that. Like, if I fail and my word goes back, like I go back on my word, oh god, it is the worst thing for me. And I'm thinking about one person, for example, I did this with, and I still have to reach out to them, but I haven't acknowledged it yet. It feels like shit. Like, my word means so much to me. For me, I think your word is your worth. And I'm guessing that a lot of the reason why it's so motivating is because, well, actually, there's more to that. Of course, what I just said about all that jazz, but also the clarity you get by being around people. You're like, okay, I do want to be you in these aspects, and I also don't want to be you in these other aspects. So it's like, let's take the good and discard the bad and learn from you. And there's also a million other things. But anyways, I'm just noticing how fucking motivated I am and wanting to be accountable and inspired when I'm around other people. Whether it's like, and there's a key distinction there. People, the more you're doing in life, the more I'm motivated by you. And the closer I can get to you in physical proximity, the more motivated I am going to be. If you're going to talk about a concept, give as much context as possible. I find that when I'm talking with Brian sometimes, he's here right now. When I'm talking with him, he's so fucking in the clouds. Like, I wonder if people understand what the fuck he's talking about because he's talking so abstract. So a better way of doing this, and I really hope you listen to this, Brian, see this, you've got to start bringing examples into every fucking point you do. Because if you don't, I just don't think that people understand what the fuck you're talking about if you don't do that. You're just so fucking in the clouds that's like, yeah, gotta bring it down to earth, give practicality to it, be specific in nature, because no one knows what the fuck you're talking about if you're being too general. And in order to influence people to help get them the result you're looking for, you've got to be fucking specific. Period. End of fucking story. I realized I'm doing the right thing by abandoning coding and design and all that stuff as my main thing and focusing on non-material source energy medicine and source energy medicine as a whole and all that type of cool and also weird shit. But I heard Brian on London Real, and he said whatever his old job was, I think he was something to do in finance, and I could be wrong, but it was something like that. And he said it was a lot of fun, and he knew he would miss it type of thing when he left, but he also knew what he was missing out on by not doing it, and he would have way more fucking impact if he did London Real, and so little impact if he chose to stay with what he was doing, even though it could technically be more fun. So I'm like, wow, this is exactly what I needed to hear, because I wonder sometimes, like, should I have just stuck with design and coding because it's fun and I could do it all fucking day? Or am I doing the right thing by chasing the ultimate fucking impact, the ultimate change, the ultimate long-term ideal plan in my opinion. So that was some good confirmation to hear that. What challenges did I experience? Not fully appreciating the present moment. Struggled with presence at times during Ever After. I found myself being future focused, trying to just like, I don't know, just like at times I felt my intentions were off. Other times I was fucking dialed in and having a fucking blast, and it was really fucking cool. But other times I did find myself like thinking about quote unquote the wrong things. And that's just an opportunity for me to change my thought patterns, change my patterns, and grow from it ultimately. Being too attached to my expectations. So specifically I'm thinking about a person who I thought was going to be a certain way in person, but was more another way. And I was like, okay, but this is my opportunity to be like, yo, this is just my expectation. Like an expectation can really, really fuck with you if you're not channeling it correctly. So anyways, I thought they were being cold to me at the time, but they weren't actually, or at least that's my current understanding, that they were not mad at me or trying to be cold. They were just expressing in a certain way, and that is that. And I have to remember that, like, it's just because I have a certain expectation does not mean it's not necessarily going to be that way. That's true for like sets as well. Sets I had too high expectations for, like I got a little bit too pumped for Excision, and although I wasn't feeling like 100% for Excision, but also I think my expectations were just too high, and he was better at EDC's, the recording at least. Anyways, expectations are great and fucking awful at the same time. Being very unaccepting of others' ideas and feeling like my ideas are so much better, my plans are so much better, and just like this superiority complex. It has its place, but at the same time, I'm just so resistant to accepting external ideas. It's not doing me a great service. But here's the thing that makes me feel better about it. Excuse me. Gary Vaynerchuk has this, and Steve Jobs had this as well. They like don't like the idea at first, and then they like come back and be like, hey, this is I got this idea, and then they'll be like, the other person will be like, yo, I gave you that idea like last week type of thing. But I don't do that. What I do is I'm like, oh, you were right after all, I was wrong. So like in due time I'll figure it out. I'll agree with it if it's, I think, the right move. That's usually at least what happens. Anyways, very resistant to accepting other people's ideas is the point right now. Caring too much about the judgments or opinions of other people. I found myself wanting to have conversations in the crowd that were much more private in nature, but I stopped myself because I didn't want the other people to hear around me. And I mean, there is a time and place for that, but if I can get past myself and just be okay with other people hearing it, I think that's completely fine. Yeah. Also, certain things, like doing certain things, like there was just, even as I'm doing like dancers and stuff like that, there is, I can still see people judging me at times, and I love when people support it and have fun with it, but at the same time there is obviously judgment. I can see people who are like, what the fuck is happening? Why does this kid look like he's so high? But obviously I'm fucking sober, as I talked about earlier in the episode, but they don't know that. They just think I'm rolling fucking balls because I'm going so fucking hard, but little do they know it's just because dubstep is a drug to me. Just the fucking truth. But anyways, caring too much about judgment and opinions is something I'm noticing within myself right now. I'm not loving it. Where did I grow the most? My confidence in non-material source energy medicine. I did a session on a client, and she integrated so fucking well, and it brought me so much fucking joy. But where I grew the most, I think, in this aspect is, well, first off, that was my first really big, like, awesome testimonial. It was so fucking clear for her, the story she shared to me with her dreams that she was experiencing, and like some shit that I didn't even tell her, that like her dream told her about non-material source energy medicine and like the integration process. It was like, whoa, this is incredible. And it just raised my belief so much in what I'm doing, and it just gave me that confidence, like, yeah, I'm in the right place, I'm doing the right thing, let's fucking do more of this, and let's go do it big. Socially, so obviously spending 6 days with people, you're gonna get some practice with things. Yeah, it was a lot. I learned a ton about myself. I'm also getting, like, even though I just talked about judgment and stuff like that, and like I am shirtless in a crowd doing like gun fingers and like looking high as fuck, and but obviously being completely sober, and having the fucking time of my life and giving less of a fuck and just having fun with people. If they're down, if they're not, that's completely fine. Not for everyone. And equally, like, conversations I had earlier in the week were fun, and I enjoyed those, and I wish I had more conversations like that later in the week, but didn't do a great job of creating those types of conversations. But again, in the future we'll learn from that. But there's a lot of lessons learned. There was a lot of clarity I gained. I learned a lot about patterns I was experiencing, positive and negative, and I just felt like I grew a lot socially. So that is why I'm putting it in here. What am I obsessed with right now? Course dubstep. Gotta be. Ever After is ridiculous. Also, I forgot, in case I haven't said this, I'm just so happy that the people I spent it with, like, just awesome. It is super fucking important who you spend these festivals with, and I'm so fucking grateful if you were part of my squad, and I love you. Thank you so much for being there. Thank you for sharing this experience with me. I hope you had as much fun as I did. And yeah, just, that was cool as fuck. Completely related, gun fingers. Like, I love gun fingers. This is my new obsession with dubstep. Like, I was kind of like sad that Mastodon took so long in the terms of the weekend. It was mid-weekend, but I love shooting things in dubstep. Like, I pretend like I have fucking guns all the time, and just, it's so funny. It's like, there's this guy who loves something called death step, and he loves guns and pretending he's firing and shooting things, and he's equally he wants to be a spiritual leader, and he does energy work, and he wants to build a business around this. It's just such a funny fucking combination. I love it so much. But yeah, I'm obsessed with gun fingers. For Mastodon, I'm just like just fucking shooting everything, and it was great. And I shoot people, I shoot the sky, I shoot the crowd. There's a whole variation of shooting. Yeah, I had so much fun. I'm not sure if I'm going to show any footage, but you can try to imagine me just like, it's so funny. Alright, so Reflections 48 in the books. That came out way better than I was expecting. I still feel like low-key sick, and if that sounds like Loki, like the character from Marvel Cinematic Universe, or just Marvel in general, I'm rambling. Hope that came out well. And if you liked it, please share with a friend. And if you liked it enough, please engage with it, comment with it, like it. And if you could do me a favor and follow along, whether that's through subscribing, following on the podcast, or liking my Facebook page, so you can get delivered the long form pieces of content and join me on my journey, that would be fucking remarkable. Anyways, appreciate you watching and listening. It means a fucking ton to me. And as always, my name is Josh Moxey, and I will catch you later. Test days. I can barely fucking think right now, and I still fucking crushed.